But I want to talk about the top curative title issues. Those mean the things that stop our deals from closing, and more importantly, stop our buyers and sellers from fulfilling their dreams. And then along with that goes getting our paychecks, right? Because you guys all know you're commission only, in case no one told you that. So are we. Like, I am 100% commission. I do not have a guarantee. That was removed a long time ago, right? So it motivates me to get out there and sell and close deals. So being that I'm a title rep who used to be a title officer really sets me apart, because I actually ran a desk. I was just explaining to Chris what the difference is between a title rep and a title officer, but I ran a very busy title unit for many years at Orange Coast, to the point where I finally said, no more working till 11 o'clock every night at the office and then getting home to 2 small children under the age of 2. It was not happening. So here I shut my title unit down, came out in the field, and I never looked back. But the great thing about it is I still get to do what I love, and that is closing my deals. I really enjoy working on the files. So I thought I would share with you guys from my experience, and I know that my counterparts back there that are entitled would agree. And if they don't, then we need to have a meeting outside. But I can tell you the number one cause of delay with a title transaction are uninsured deeds. And what is an uninsured deed? Diana and I can be on title together as besties, right? Diana says, Kristi, I'm gonna go off with my honey bunny and we're gonna go to Hawaii. We're gonna cruise everywhere. So I'm gonna deed off the property, right? But when you sell, Kristi, you need to give me my portion of the equity. And I'll be like, you got it, girlfriend. No worries, right?
Yeah.
Diana's long gone. Now she's like, girl, we're going to Jamaica. So she's been gone a year. So I decide I want to sell. Title company gets the report, right? They run it and they see that Diana deeded off, and that deed was not done through a title company. So it was what we call uninsured. So it's called a gift deed. So the title company says, before we can close, we need something from Diana. And I'm all, why? She deeded off to me. I have a document here that is notarized. It's notarized, so that means it is effective, right? And I always have to say to my agents, all documents have to be notarized to get recorded. That's silly girl. They do. If they're not notarized, they can't be recorded. Does that mean they're valid? No. Now, if Diana and I have a verbal agreement, will that stand up in court?
No.
It won't stand up in court, but it'll get you in court, right? Do title companies like to go to court?
No.
What, guys?
No.
No. And everybody thinks we have these deep pockets, so title company can deal with it. But see, we get so many claims in all the time, and this is one of the number one cause of claims. So what we have to do is make sure that Diana did, in fact, number one, sign that document, and number two, that she understood what she was signing, right? And that she's not owed any money from the sale of this transaction. Now, let's say Diane is the agent, and Diana go way back, and Diane knows me. We're all friends. So she knows both of us. So she knows what's going on. Is she party to it?
Yep.
She had knowledge, right? So if she closes, if she convinces the title company, because she works with the title company and they're besties, and they'll do anything to get her deal through because they know her, love her, and trust her. And if she gets that through, and next thing you know, Diana comes back from her vacation, she goes and she notices the house is no longer green. Now it's, yellow, completely different. And she's like, hey, wait a minute. What's going on? She finds out I sold the house while she was gone. And the title company went ahead and made the decision to pass. We call it pass on, meaning we accept it for its worth, and we say we're comfortable, we're gonna go ahead and close without getting anything from Diana because we know, love, and trust Diane, right? Diana comes back, lawsuit's filed. I'm in trouble, Diane's in trouble. Now we're really going to be best friends, aren't we? Yeah. So uninsured deeds, when someone transfers off a piece of property as a gift, it must be validated. We need to make sure that the individuals who signed off understood what they were signing, are not expecting any monetary consideration through our sale. Not only that, we need a really important document called a statement of information. How many of you guys have no idea what that is? Does everybody know what an okay, statement of information. It looks like a little loan app. And on every transaction, you need them on all sellers. And what we do is we take that information, it has date of birth, driver's license number, who you've been married to, how many kids you had with that person, where you've lived the last 10 years, where you've worked the last 10 years. Then you sign it under penalty of perjury. Title company can now take that information and we will run what we call the general index, the GI search. But basically what we're looking for are judgments and liens recorded against all owners. We also have to go back 10 years. So someone will say, well, she's been off the property 5 years. Why do you need documentation from her? Well, remember this, you guys, really important. The lien period runs how many years?
10.
So if a judgment is recorded against Diana 5 years ago, it's still valid for how many years?
10.
Another 5.
Oh,
Stay with me though, because I'm going to need you in a second. Yes. Okay, so it's valid for 5 more years. But what if the judgment creditor who filed that judgment against Diana, let's say it's Chris, says, you know what, no way is she getting off scot-free. He can go and he can get a certified copy of the judgment, he can go to court, he can renew it. Did you guys know that? And guess when what the clock starts ticking all over again is? 10 years. So the judgments that get recorded against an individual, we have to clear them and make sure that they don't get re-recorded and reattached to the property. Does that make sense? We also look for child support liens. You know, judgments, the number 1 culprits are Citibank and American Express. So make sure you make your credit card payments. Okay, guys? Just telling you. They will record a judgment against you. Happily. All right, so uninsured deeds. We have to go back.
What happens if she dies?
Okay, good question.
Hey, now.
Okay, so hold on. That's a really good question. If Diana was on title, she deeded off, and we don't know the nature of the transfer. We don't know what the relationship was or any agreements. She passes away. God forbid. Not that that's going to happen. Who would suffer a loss?
Her heirs.
Very good. Her heirs. So what a title company would require is a statement from her son and your daughter that they expect nothing from her mother's interest in that property. If we eliminate the risk the best we can, we will close. Cheryl, you look confused.
What if it's in a trust and the property is recorded in a trust and the trustees just happen to be the children? I mean, is that?
This is where she deeded off though, remember? She was on title and Diane asked, well, what if she passed? We can't get an SI from her. We can't get that affidavit of uninsured deed, that form filled out saying that she was aware of what she was signing.
Are you protected in the trust?
You would be protected in the trust because the trust names the
reason to have
heirs.
trust.
Absolutely. It would be ideal if it was in a trust, but if it's in an individual's name, this is the step that we come across. Like, what do you do? So we would, exactly, like Diane, that's such a great question. We have to alleviate the risk the best of our ability. And who would come forward and state a claim? Their heirs. And believe me, it happens all the time. You have no idea. So affidavit of uninsured deed, it's a form that title has, escrow has them. They'll send it to you, you get it signed. We have to, and I get this all the time, we have no idea where she is. You guys know what my nickname is, right? I've got a couple of them, but what's my Kristi Wry? That's right. I will find her. Oh, baby, you better believe it. I will find you. Let me tell you guys a funny story on a transaction I'm working on right now, and then I'll get off the stage. I have an agent that took a listing. He wants to take a listing, and it's an elderly man who took out a loan in 1995 for $150,000 with a company called Ford Consumer Finance. Has anyone ever heard of them? When I was a title officer, they were my biggest account. Did I share this with you the other day, babe? Okay, they were my biggest account. They were one of the reasons I almost had that nervous breakdown, working till 11 o'clock every night on my title unit, pumping at my desk. I know it's too much information, but it is what it is. That's what I did. So, no, I'm talking pumping. You know, I covered it up, but I would say people come up, they're like, what's that sound? My assistant title officer would go, Kristi's pumping. And they're like, oh my God. Like, give me a break. You can't see anything. I write with my right hand, have the phone like this. Miss Kristi, how can I help you? This is no lie, you guys. They've got pictures of me doing it. Okay, so Charlie calls me and he says, I'd like to list this, but this gentleman is saying he's got this loan on his property for Consumer Finance. And I'm like, oh, I know that company. He goes, well, we can't get a hold of him, and he wants to make sure that it's paid in full, but he said he didn't pay it off. I'm like, okay? He goes, the company went out of business. So I run them, and they did. They were still in business. Right when I shut down my title unit, they sold all of their loans to Associates Financial. Then Associates Financial sold their portfolio to City Mortgage. And I have this documented. March 3rd, I sent an email to City Mortgage. I got third-party authorization from the owner, giving me authorization to talk to them about his loan, and they can talk to me. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, I get a full reconveyance. Yeah, that's what I did. I get a full reconveyance, a letter, an email that they're sending a full reconveyance to the county recorder's office. My instructions specifically said I need not just a full reconveyance, but also a what? Paid in full letter. I need to see it in writing that this loan's been paid in full. Because what could happen? One individual at City Mortgage in the recon department or the release department makes a mistake and releases this lien, and then 5 years down the road they realize, oh my gosh, guys, that's called unjust enrichment. If this individual, he said he did not pay it off, right? We don't know if he owes $2,000, we don't know if he owes $20,000. So I get a hold of them, I call them back, and I said, and all he can do is call. You cannot email. So I said, I need a paid in full letter. The lady that had sent me the document, she goes, you need to talk to the research department. I call the research department because all you can do is call, no emails. Research department, though, doesn't take personal calls. They will only let you talk to the answering service or the call center, which is guess where?
Philippines.
Close.
India.
Yes. So I call, and I'm calling, and I'm complaining, and they said, you have to fax your request. I ended up faxing it 5 times. So I get an email from Charlie, I adore him, he's a KW agent too. I get an email from him going, Kristi, I'm meeting with the seller on Thursday, he's elderly, we've got to sell, have you heard anything? And I've been keeping him in the loop. So finally, I'm like, you know what, screw this. I put on my Kristi Wry private eye hat, and I looked up the CEO of City Mortgage.
Awesome.
I found her with a slew of phone numbers. Did I tell you this? This is Friday night.
I saw your tweet.
Friday night. Oh yeah, I tweeted the hell out of them. Yeah, I did.
Good.
Oh yeah, I got on tweet like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, I tweeted them up and down, and two ways Sunday. So, did they respond? You guys ever want to get someone's attention? Go on to Twitter. I've told you guys about that, right? It's powerful. So I get a phone number, and they're all on the East Coast because the corporate office of City Mortgage is in New York. So I call it. First call just goes ding, 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 first number. So I go to my next. A gentleman answers. So you got to figure it's 7 o'clock at my office at Wry Team headquarters. It was 10 o'clock their time. I didn't expect anyone to answer. I thought I'd get a voicemail. Hello? Hello? Can I speak to, and then I said her name. He goes, may I say who's calling? I said, yes, this is Kristi Wry, Vice President of Orange Coast Title in California. I need to speak to her about a loan. And he goes, it might be better if you email her. I said, okay. So luckily I get her email address from this program as well. And I said, is this her email address? He goes, yes, it is. And I said, great, tell her to be expecting an email. And I'm like shaking. I'm like, oh my God. I hang up, I'm like, I found her. I just got an email right now from City Mortgage that they're going to get me my paid in full letter.
Sweet. Yeah.
How cool is that, you guys? Because you know what else I did? I took it a step further. I sent an email to her boss, and I put in every single email address that came on that list that I had, because I figured I'm going to know which one is her email, because it's the one that doesn't bounce back, right?
Yeah.
I found their email addresses, and I wrote, I'm a pretty good writer, I wrote a powerful email. Next thing you know, and I love this crap, you guys, I swear, I could do this all day, every day. I love problem solving. So if you can imagine what I could do on your title transactions, but this gentleman, not only did that loan get forgiven, but he's also going to have a paid in full letter so that he can move forward and not worry about repercussion. You know what I'm saying? It's exciting. So thank you for letting me share that story. I wasn't planning on doing it, but it's great. All right. Kristi Wry, the Wry Team, please, on your next title transaction. If you haven't worked with me yet, give me a shot. I'm a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.